Hey everybody, it's Mr. Renner, and we have a very short lesson today that's really just going to be some vocabulary and a short poem. So let's get started. All right, so our vocabulary here starts with these two words. There's advantage and there is aid. Advantage is something that gives you a better chance at succeeding. It's something that gives you a better chance of getting something done. If you have an advantage, both this car and this bicycle give you an advantage in going faster. Aid is a little bit, it's similar, but it's a little different. It's help or support for whatever reason. This is a homeless shelter that is aid for people who don't have a home. Three other words would be accurate. When something is accurate, it is correct and it is right on. Um, an accurate shot would be one that goes right into the bullseye there. Evaluate is when you think about things carefully and decide whether they are right or wrong. All right. And finally, forecast. We're doing a lot of stories about weather in this unit, in this theme. And a forecast is trying to tell the future. It's trying to determine what the future is going to be, including a weather forecast. What will the weather be like tomorrow in the future? Okay. And our poem is on page 268. Um, when we go through this poem, I want to know if you can find something called an abbreviation. An abbreviation is just a word that's spelled really, really short. It's missing a lot of letters. So for instance, Mr., I'm sure you've all seen, is often abbreviated like that. Doctor, DR. And I'm sure you have seen street, inches, or mountain also being abbreviated before. In this poem, let's see if we can find some of those abbreviations, okay? It's called Foggy Morning at Mount Pleasant. And I've just found an abbreviation right there. Here it is. MT is short for mountain, Mount Pleasant. Morning sun warmed the chilled lake, then our valley filled with fog as far as the eye could see. Now, above the fog, Mount Pleasant rises like an island above the sea, watching and proud. High in the sky, the sun begins to burn the AM mist, turning it to clouds. Pine needles are an aid to the sun, shredding the last bits of fog to wisps. Morning is done. Oh, it's a nice poem. This is one of those poems that doesn't have any rhyming and it doesn't have much of a rhythm either because um, all of these are different lengths. All of the lines have a different number of syllables in them. But poetry isn't just about rhyming and rhythm and things like that. It can also be about describing things very, 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 very interestingly, putting a nice picture in your head and having fun with words. And this poem definitely describes and puts a picture in your head of a foggy morning. I really like this. Pine needles are an aid to the sun, shredding the last bits of fog to wisps. And I'm picturing in my head a pine cone or pine needles tearing at the fog and making it go away. This is a nice poem. Ongoing practice. We only have one page today, Foggy Morning at Mount Pleasant. It is a poem, so you don't have to worry about that one. I told you before it was a poem. Who is telling the story? Well, it's very, very difficult, but you try and find yourself. Is Lorraine Cinteros, the poet, actually here talking about this? Or is she talking about somebody else who's watching the morning sun? And if you don't know, it's okay to just guess because this is a hard one. Number 3, have you ever been outside as the sun rose? What did it look like? Come up with as many good descriptions as you can from what you remember. Number 4, what do you know about fog? Just tell us what you know about it, what it is, what it looks like, what it feels like, what it reminds you of. Write 2 abbreviations you saw in the poem and what did they stand for? I already told you about one of them, and here is the other one right here. a.m. Okay. And finally, what do these other common abbreviations stand for? And you have to tell us, what does FT, CM, IN, ST, and DR stand for? That's it. And I will see you all tomorrow.